Hi guys! You ever had one of those days where it's like insanely busy and you only have so much time in the day to get things done? It's like insanity. I am having one of those days. So in this video, if I seem a little it's because I'm having one of those days. Anyway. Okay. Today I want to talk to you about something that is so very important when it comes to your mental clarity and empowerment when you walk into an audition. It has everything to do with how you perceive the power players. And in this instance, I am talking specifically about the casting director. Casting directors, I feel, are so misunderstood, especially by us actors. Let's all admit it, okay? Shall we? So often, we look at that casting director like they are the big bad wolf. And they are there to judge us, and we're never enough, and they're evaluating our every move, blah, 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 blah. That is exactly what I used to feel before I worked in casting. And when I became that very person who used to intimidate me the most, I realized I was completely wrong. I just didn't understand them or their day. One of the biggest mistakes we make as actors is perceiving what is going on over there with the casting director in terms of their behavior, their seeming lack of interest. We perceive what's going on with them as being all about us, and it's not. It's just not the case. There are a few things that you must understand about the casting director. Number one, that casting director is not against you. That casting director is for you. That casting director is hoping that you're going to be the actor who walks into the room and makes their day easier. Think about it. In a casting session, if they don't find the right actor to play that part, who's going to have to answer for that? The casting director. It is on the casting director to make sure that they bring in great choices for the role. So if the role does not get cast, casting has to answer for it. They would not invite you to audition for that character during that session on that day if they were not hoping that you were going to be a strong possible choice for the role. So it's really important that you try to eliminate that thought that says they are not rooting for me, because it's just not reality. You know, there is a great book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Such a fantastic book, especially if you want to audition well. Now, this video is by no means endorsed by Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 Agreements. I am simply recommending the book. One of the 4 agreements says, do not take anything personally. Let's read for a second what Don Miguel Ruiz has to say about do not take anything personally. He says, nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. You guys, this applies so beautifully to auditioning. Let me tell you a little bit of what that casting director who might be in a bad mood during your audition is going through. They are under a tremendous amount of pressure. The job of a casting director is constantly full of pressure. They have lists, they have sessions to set up.
They have scripts they have to read. They have agents that they are dealing with, managers that they are dealing with, pitches, all kinds of stuff, network notes, writers, taking meetings regarding the next potential project that they're going to take on and cast.
Take a second and just imagine that you're the casting director, having to welcome every single actor that you audition that day with the brightest smile and the most outgoing personality.
Hi, come in. It's so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. I'm excited to have you here today. Do you have any questions?
That is never gonna happen. You're tired, you're exhausted, you've got so much on your mind. And also, you trust that you don't need to be that gregarious with every actor coming in because you assume that they understand that this is a professional environment. You assume that they know that you're busy and it's business. That casting director might be thinking, ooh, yeah, nice. But are they gonna show it to you? Probably not. They're not gonna show their cards. They're just thinking it in their head. Or they might be thinking, oh yeah, really right for this other role. Bottom line, whatever is going on in that casting director's mind, that is resulting in whatever behavior is going on here, that is none of our business as actors. It's just not. And also time. The time constraint, can't speak today, to make things happen is enormous. So when you're walking in that room and the casting director seems a little frazzled, appears like they're halfway paying attention to you, that's not the case. They're just frazzled. Multitasking. Casting directors become very, very good at multitasking. You walk in to audition, they have a million things going through their brain at that moment that you walk in. They are able to actually be present to you at the same time coming across like they're not, because they're doing other things or they're looking down, but trust me, they are very present to you. They just have a lot of things that they are juggling in their own head. And unfortunately, that can come across like they are not interested. Casting directors are no different than you and I. They have good days, bad days, pressure-filled days. They're human. You know, maybe they had a fight with their spouse the night before. Maybe they got into a fender bender on the way to work that day. Maybe they ate something for lunch and it's just not sitting well with them. You know what I'm saying? So every audition that you have is actually an opportunity to walk into that room and extend empathy to that other human being who just happens to be casting the role.
Oh man, that's deep.
Before I worked in casting, so many times I can recall as an actor, I would walk into an audition and I would evaluate in my mind every single little thing that that casting director was doing as a reflection of me, that it meant something about me. And when I went into casting and I actually became that person, dealing with all that pressure, dealing with my own human circumstances, dealing with the time constraints, I would find myself, and I'm a very actor-friendly person because I am an actor, I would find myself saying, "Hi, come on in. Do you have any questions?" Great. Okay, so we'll start whenever you're ready. Go ahead. But in my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, okay, that's a good look. Yeah, oh, I like this. Okay. But I'm not interested in showing that to them. Why? Because I got a million things going on in my brain. Do not misinterpret the casting director's lack of visible interest during your audition as a sign that they are truly uninterested. Even if that casting director picks up a donut and starts eating it in the middle of your audition, do not be offended by that. Maybe they're hungry. How about trusting that that casting director can eat a donut, read with you with their mouth full, and really be connected to you? Be fully present while eating a donut. Because they can. I know some actors who, if that happened to them, their entire day would be ruined because I can't believe the casting director picked up a donut and ate it through my audition. They were so uninterested in me. When we audition, we have the choice to either come from a place of fear or come from a place of faith. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we end up projecting onto the casting director our fear of what we think that casting director is going to think of us. And unfortunately, the way that the mind works is often we jump to the worst conclusion. Being able to walk into an audition and extend empathy over to the casting director if they seem frazzled, if they seem like they're not in the best mood, coming from a place of, oh, whoa, okay, that's not about me. That's probably about them. Gosh, I hope that they're doing okay. I hope they're not having a bad day. I'm going to do everything I can in this moment to not contribute to their bad day. Hopefully I can make it a little better. You are there to contribute. You are not there to get something from them. You are there to give something to them. In a beautiful way, you, as an industry colleague to that casting director, are in your spirit supporting them and their day by not taking it personally and by not letting it interfere with your work or your choices. Look at it as a lab experiment. At your next audition, assume no matter what happens, I don't care, you guys, if they look at you like you are an alien. I booked a role one time where I walked in and I did my audition, and I swear to you, the casting director the entire time was looking at me like this. I remember thinking, oh my God, like, what is up? But I worked in casting. I just took it on faith. Whatever's going on over there is not about me. And if it is, that's okay, because not everybody has to respond to me like I'm all that, you know? So I remember I got home and I got the phone call that I booked that job. So clearly, whatever was going on in that moment, I mean, maybe that casting director had gas. You know, I mean, maybe she was holding back a sneeze. Maybe I looked like somebody that she knew and she just couldn't place it, you know? But if we take things like that and make it all about ourselves, it's only going to mess with you and cause you to get into your head. So the clock is ticking. I have got to wind it down so I can get ready to go and teach class. Try it on. At your next audition, decide for yourself before you ever even walk into the room. No matter what happens, no matter how that casting director is looking at me, I'm not going to make that about myself. I'm going to assume that's all about them and their day, and that it has nothing to do with me. And then after your audition, come back to this video and leave a comment. Let me know how it went, taking on this perspective, taking on this agreement with yourself. Give it a try. Be good to yourselves, be good to the world, and I'll catch you next time.